Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, September 11th, 2024, 4 o'clock meeting of the San Rafael Trail Commission. Do we have any participants from the public that have registered for the meeting or have comments or none? Okay. We will then go to item number 2. Approval of the minutes of the June 12 meeting. They were distributed online. Read by everybody, I am sure. And any comments, omissions, corrections, additions? I hear nothing except crickets, so I will assume none. And moving forward then to item number 3, the Fire Foundation. Donna.
So the Fire Foundation has set their date for the next crowd feed. It's gonna be January 18th. Mark your calendars. Obviously, they're gonna be desperately in need of volunteers again. And they're also wanting anyone and everyone to start early on possible donations for the silent auction. So those were the 2 updates I had. I mean, that's the big annual fundraiser that they do. So any and all support and help that you or anyone you know can provide, go direct to the foundation president and or board members to volunteer, or you can network through me if you are gathering donations and you wish me to deliver.
So till when for volunteering? Who should we?
Len Thompson is he's been away traveling for the last month, but I'm pretty darn sure he's back now.
Okay,
So they're putting full court press on it because it's getting close.
okay. So we check the line.
January 18th. Obviously, ticket sales will be a big deal again this year as well.
One trick, of course, is to advertise them as a great Christmas gift.
That's a good idea.
And then do you have a flyer for that? Because I can start getting it,
No, in fact,
publicized.
I noticed on the website for the foundation that they have last year's flyer still up. I'm like, okay, that needs to be updated.
It's probably
Yeah.
on me to do that.
But I don't think they're gonna do it otherwise.
Mhm.
And maybe you could ask then about a flyer as well,
Okay.
while we're at it, 'cause that flyer can get then posted on the website.
Yeah. Yeah, and then all the calendars have the function where you can upload the flyer, and it just helps, when things get into the community calendars, that's really helpful. Okay. Do you know did Lynn create that in the past?
I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. Might have been School of Interrock, but I just don't know.
Any questions from the table for the foundation? Okay. Just a thought in passing, in addition to yourself and an excellent spokesperson for the foundation, we should rattle the cage at some point and have another member of the board come in and give us just a basic update on the organization and where they are and where they want to go. And we know kind of what we can do to help, but if we get beat up enough, we might get around to actually doing it. So, just saying.
So I'll let them know that you would like someone from the board to do a presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly, we're brothers and sisters in the hip. We might as well see each other once in a while. Yes. 150th subcommittee.
So we had the open house at 54 this past Sunday. It was a good steady stream of people. Wasn't as big as the 57, but it was still very nice. And then we kind of, this is part of 150th, but we had our 9/11 ceremony today. So Thomas had videos was shown earlier, so that went along without a hitch. So that was good. we are now completed with the open houses with the exception of 51. But please mark December 15th on your calendars, December 15th.
December?
December 15th. So the actual anniversary of SRFP is the 14th. We can do that thing. And so we wanted to have a open house here at the Public Safety Center plus 51. And was decided that the 14th is a Saturday, so it would be hard to get people. And then we're also knowing that we have a shared space with the lobby's a shared space with PD. It was decided that we would have a pop-up museum on the 15th, it's Sunday, because on Sundays, the PD is not using the lobby, so the access is not, we'll have the whole lobby to ourselves.
We said the 15th is a Monday.
December?
Yeah. Or wait, no, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm looking too far in advance. No,
And
you're right, it's a Sunday.
what time will it be?
Well, I will leave that, the subcommittee has subbed it off to another person. I'm asking Stan and Chief Waterbury and Steve Miserock and Larry Luckwood to have a pop-up museum here. So I don't know, maybe some 3-hour window, Stan, is what I'm thinking.
Like 10 to 1?
Yeah. Something like that. And then it would be in conjunction with an open house at 51.
Where is, as a sidelight, but related, where is the large historical truck going to go when and if the city lets go of that building? It's currently parked in, as I understand it.
We're weighing our options.
I see, okay, fine, yes. Yeah, hey, this is a political season, I get the answer. Okay,
One
looking around,
One event that will surround that on that date is the rededication of the plaque. The plaque is like, the plaque is dedicated to 1950, 2 firefighters were killed in downtown San Rafael. That came off the wall at the old station 151. And it has never been put back. So Chief Bernard and Chief Sinon are kind of working on that to get it remounted. We're just trying to figure out where, is that correct?
Yeah, there hasn't been much discussion. Chief, I know that you have that Memorial Park idea. Not sure if you wanted it out there or if you wanted it here.
I think they wanted, because I did ask them about that, the folks that I have working on that, and they felt that we could leave this one here, just so it was at 51 and fast. And then whatever we do here, just over at the Memorial, that 55 will just be a little bit smaller.
Hey, John, do we want to, again, along the lines of promotion?
Yes,
Yeah, I
that
can
would,
try and get this on calendars and I'm happy to help with that.
that'd be great.
Can we also develop a flyer for that one?
Yes, we would develop a flyer.
Okay.
My graphic artist is my daughter who's back.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe she could keep it.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the plaque. I'm not really, I mean, they're way before I came here. But, and it does have the 2 firefighters who died, down here on 4th Street. But there's other people on it. And,
that have been added subsequently.
well, I think there needs to be a decision made as to whether it's going to be, a memorial for, duty-related deaths. Because if it is, it needs to be updated. It hasn't been updated since I was here, but I know that we've lost I know it's a couple guys that,
Sure.
that were on
Yeah.
TV,
Mhm.
and died heart attacks.
Where does a memorial for fallen firefighters fit between the department and the association? Who is in charge of keeping the list?
I think we would probably take that on, we haven't, I don't believe, I think we probably need to look at that and take that on. Because we were probably the ones that would be able to trace those records to see, and I'm not sure how difficult it is, this is just me speaking, I'm not sure if we had to physically grab those, or if somebody could tell us and stuff like that. But I think we would probably carry that on, because that's what I'm interested in, once we get the memorial on at 55, is to do that out there.
Okay, so a big, meaning all encompassing, or as up to date as we can make it, would be out at 55.
Correct.
This particular plaque, Brian, you're saying that there are names in addition to the initial two?
There are, initially, it was line of duty deaths.
Got it.
Okay, and then over the years, they attributed, exposure to chemicals and fires and stuff now, to, that could be considered, duty related, deaths. So somewhere along the line, we gotta make a decision as to, is it gonna be a guy that's on duty, building falls on him, kills him, or is it gonna be the people that died 6 months later of lung cancer because of exposure to smoke? That will come up, because just today, this morning, they're having a memorial service for Vernon County firefighter who died of brain cancer. But it was 2 years after he actually left the fire organization, but it was attributed to exposure to.
Chief, did we submit some of those names to the California?
Yeah, I would say we'd want to include everybody who is on the California Memorial.
Yeah, they have specific, regulations and guidance around that, so if they're in that, in the state park or memorial, then yeah, we need to add them. to the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that includes, job-related, illness, not line of duty, it also includes job-related
Right.
illness.
And that's
I
how,
think it's definite,
that's how it's changed.
definite,
Yeah,
It's like, I think, Mike is on that.
absolutely.
But you could be using the state standard then as a.
I think we should get a copy of the
Clearing
state
value.
standards.
Well, hello. Got that. Do we know?
yes, all the illnesses that are now considered presumptive. If one passes from those, it's considered a job-related death.
And 51, at one time, the old 51 was, had a plaque on it. But that's been transferred to the 51.
That's what I'm talking, that's what I'm
Of
talking.
an engineer that.
Oh.
That died, that died here, in the old building.
In his sleep, right?
Pardon?
In his sleep? Was he asleep?
No. He woke up, he was disoriented, and within about 2 hours, he was dead. And they put a plaque on the yellow fire engine in his honor.
Who's that?
You were gonna ask me. You know how old I
It'll
am?
come to you. It'll come to you.
So what we can do, let me look at the, one that we have here, so I haven't actually looked at the one we have here, though, the one that's should be getting good enough.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
So we probably should look at it and see if there is space for names, and I'm not sure if it was intended for additional space. And if not, we'll hang this one back up the way it is, and we'll leave it status quo. And then we will, at the new memorial at 55, we'll add all the names that need to it. And we'll give it the respective needs, and we'll create a event out there where we go out there and we all kind of the inaugural memorial out there and do some event out there.
And I'm sure that you'll work with the association on that.
Yeah, and just to let you know, we already did that. There is a garden that's getting put out there. and Part of that garden covers that memorial. And we met with the contractor last week or the week before that to start that work.
Because if they're gonna try, if you wanna track people down, then do it. An association.
Yeah, and I think it'll be fairly easy now that I think about it, just because we'll use the state list.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be it, that we'll use the state list and we'll use those names and add them to the
Is Mike on the state?
looking for it.
So I'm just thinking the last two firefighters that have fallen, they don't get on the state wall right away.
No, it does take a while.
Yeah.
There's a process that goes through.
Yeah.
Which I kind of want to leave that alone and kind of use that. That way we're not creating our own process. And just use the state process, whatever they have that, and as soon as it gets posted on theirs, then it will post on ours also. I think that's probably the best, cleanest way to do it.
Well, let's just hope we never have to.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well,
But did you have currently Chief Alviso is handling the facilities. But the actual person, the folks that are working on the memorial is Kyle. And no, it's Esty. Esty. Both of those folks are gonna trying to figure out what the memorial is gonna be up there. And but they landed on it's over by the flagpole in front of 55 there, somewhere in there. And then hopefully to put the memorial and a little bench out there so that people can reflect and sit out there.
that's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it is. It's very quiet and it's very like it's very appropriate for what we want to have out there.
So by the flagpole, then that's between the station and San Pedro Road,
Mhm.
as opposed to where the bungalow was, which is a
Correct.
little bit further back.
Correct, there's a tree there, and what they felt that where the little bungalow is, or where the little shed is back there, kind of leave that open for future and stuff, as far potential carport or additional apparatus. What they didn't want to do is then move the memorial multiple times, just
Yeah.
the memorial stays in one place.
Yeah,
And like I said, our landscape architect is designing that memorial around, the garden around that memorial also.
yeah, it'll be much more visible for
Yes.
foot traffic and
Correct.
cars
Correct.
too. So next year at some point?
Actually, we picked a contractor, and I'm not sure actually where we are with that, but we picked a contractor last week. So I believe she wanted to move on it early. Even though actually I know they want to move on it because I heard that a bunch of plants arrived out there, so.
Oh,
So I'm not sure how wires got crossed or anything, but they want to move on it pretty fast. And we have the funding for it also, so that was the biggest hurdle that we were waiting just to get the funding on it. What we did, what I'm doing is agreeing with NWPA, or not NWPA, but vegetation management, and that they would build a demonstration garden out there. So it's actually a demonstration garden around the memorial area.
Oh,
So it actually serves several, it's actually like, to me, it's like the most beautiful thing ever, because it also, the objective of that around the demonstration garden is for me to be able to say, to tell anybody, go to this fire station, it'll show you exactly what you need to do in your house. So we'll have the zero space around the 5 foot around there, how decomposed granite and that kind of stuff. So it's really gonna be like the epitome of, this is the example we're setting for the community of what their houses should look like. And then that'll be the first part. The next phase will be that side hill. I want to get some native vegetation in there also, and then be able to kind of figure out something around there. So, but that's the next phase, and that'll probably be a couple of years or so to do that. But
Thank you. Donna, we've done, it's a committee thing, not commission, foundation ones. Yes. Current media coverage, smart wildfire prevention, Diablo magazine. I did not see the article. It's right here. But I was distributed online, no doubt. And I'm sure we all have it memorized. Oh, hello. Oh, burn box. Have we looked at those?
yes, we have looked at those. So they're kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So that's, but right now, we actually contracted for them to take the material out of there. But in the future, we are looking at potentially doing that. But the burn boxes, we've actually had a demo we sent some of our folks out there. It really is kind of a cool system, where it just burns fairly clean. But like I said, right now, we don't, right now we just contract everything out. The problem is that you need an operator to be with this, so we'd have to have somebody internally trained, paying him high dollar to sit there to burn stuff, rather than just the contractor to just do whatever they need to do. With that being said, as prices go down, or if there's a opportunity for us to engage in that, and you purchase something like that, by all means, we'll look at it.
Yeah, we're looking at eucalyptus.
How big are they?
They're pretty big, but they're like that Conex box, that's,
Where would we store it?
that's the other issue. We probably would just run it place to place.
Location.
Yeah, we probably run some in different places.
You got transport.
But so there's a transport, there's an operator, there's all that kind of stuff. And right now, to be honest with you, all we need is a contractor.
Yeah.
We need to move this stuff out of here.
Can one of those be run in the city itself, or does it have to be out in?
No, we could run in the city. I mean, there's still some smoke that gets emitted from it, but it's minimal. And once it builds up, the concept is like an oven. So it gets so hot that it just burns and stuff, and there's a cover to it and stuff like that. So there is some kind of smoke emission from it, but not to the point where like a burn pile or anything like that. So it's really controlled, burning at super high temperature and basically creating like super fine organic material from it.
Well, they're saying the organic material that it produces can then be used in gardens,
Correct,
like the memorial garden.
correct, correct. Yeah, for sure.
Today on the news, they showed something that I think Cal Fire is considering. And it's a fire bot. Did you see that?
We actually, believe it or not, so right now we're working on our environmental impact stuff for some of the stuff we're doing, and we're including that as part of the process.
It's pretty cool.
But it's really cool.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, it's like this robot thing that actually burns the grass. If you, rather than backfiring, they're saying you can use this thing and it sprays water out so that fire doesn't spread. And it's like, what's the thing they use on skating, ice skating? Kind of something like that, but it moves fairly slowly, but it efficiently burns it off, probably a 5-6 foot swath.
Yeah.
And it's all done by, I guess, remote control.
Yeah. So yeah, that is part of, believe it or not, it's actually we put it in the plan there, just think that in the future we might use it.
Sure.
So we're looking at all different technology, and I'm not putting aside it also burning, like literally coming out there, just burning some vegetation out there eventually. Probably we'll wind up doing some burning ourselves in the future.
Let's see, moving along. Commission member reports. David?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Ken?
And, it's, I didn't send anything in to Thomas, but, a couple of things from my experience in the insurance world. One, I just was in, Africa, and I was in Mount Kilimanjaro. The number one, thing that they talk about on Mount Kilimanjaro is wildfire.
Really?
As soon as you get to the gate of Kilimanjaro, there's a monstrous, metal container there with all the fire apparatus in it to fight fire. The bottom half of, about bottom third of Kilimanjaro is really consumed by cypress type trees. It's a jungle, but there's a lot of cypress in there, and they've been hit by wildfire, and it's the number one thing out there that you see signs. And I would not have thought of that. Also, after being on Kilimanjaro, I spent a lot of time in Uganda, 2 weeks in Tanzania and Kenya, and the controlled burns that are going on there are amazing. I've got pictures. I didn't know if I could share them with you guys or not, but I'll send them out to this portal. But yeah, controlled burns are everywhere in Africa, and it's impressive. And then just some of the articles, I'm not good at getting them to Thomas. I should be more diligent at it, but if you homeowners insurance in Australia, we have nothing on them. It's virtually impossible to get homeowners insurance in that country.
Wow.
And then you've seen, I don't know if you guys saw the sugarcane fields in Brazil have caught fire, and those are burning. I have a client that's got the concept was to keep our carbon footprint down, and so they built a fermentation factory in the sugarcane field so that they don't have to process it. Now the fire is coming to the factories, and so, I guess they didn't think about that. But, it's just, and then today, obviously, the bridge fire is going on. At the same time, we've got a hurricane, a Francine coming. So the world is not getting any better for the insurance, fire and insurance.
How much do they pay Kilimanjaro in insurance?
I don't know, they probably can't get it. Yeah, but, I took a picture in front of trees that were just, wildfire zone.
Wow. Big deal, think about that.
So it's interesting because the only reason why, well, people have insurance on their houses, usually it's because they got a mortgage.
Yes, that's
And-
correct.
And the mortgage company requires you to have insurance. So where's the mortgage companies fitting in the homes? And we sit here and we blame the insurance companies, for, bitch about the cost. But how come I'm not seeing, the mortgage companies?
So here's a good example. So I have a client, it's a community in the East Bay. I think some of you guys know who it is, and we did an appraisal for them because you can't really get insurance nowadays without an accurate appraisal, right? So we did the appraisal and it took the total insured value of this community. And the community is in a bowl in Walnut Creek, and it is all subject to wildfire, right? It is in a wildfire zone. And so we did the appraisal on that, and the appraisal for the valuation of this location is $2.6 billion. Well, these folks in this community, there's 10,000 of them, they cannot afford, nor in the world can we find $2.6 billion worth of property for older wood frame structures with aluminum wiring that are all in wildfire zone. We can't buy $2.6 billion worth of that much insurance, and it would cost them. So what we do is we model it to 1 in 10,000 years, and we buy $1.3 billion, about 50%. But the mortgage companies, that's a great question. The mortgage company said, you need to be insured to value, because these are all condominium associations. You need to be insured to value. As a result, we will not lend to your community any longer. So somebody that wants to buy into that community, they either pay cash or they can't buy in. And the problem there is for the people that are in that community, it's a 55 and older, but they need that money. Because if they're there and they're 90 years old and they need to go into assisted living, they need that cash out. So it's become a big problem. So this climate change, global warming, whatever it is, it's got all these trickle down effects that hit people that you never would have thought of, that these people couldn't get a mortgage. That's a great question. Sorry for long answer.
No, it's interesting.
You guys all know the community, it's Rossmore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so it's just, and the aluminum wiring is just nice, you got to cut a little.
Wow.
wiring.
Oh, my God.
You know that the original actors, used to.
The Zinsco panels,
Yep.
How long ago was that outlawed?
yeah, they stopped the breakers, and still we have fires over there, because they don't snap. So that's my report, Stan, I don't know. if
Yeah,
that
no,
had
no,
anything
no,
to do
no,
with
no,
what you
no,
wanted,
no,
but- And I apologize for being late, sorry, I can't keep stopping, and traffic, it was a mess.
It is, yeah. San Rafael traffic has gotten crazy, by the way.
Yes,
Have
it
you
has.
noticed?
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
They were going out
Man,
there,
That density.
and they had a fire, and it crashed on the way back.
Donna, do you have anything to add beyond
I do
the
not.
foundation? No, all right. John, cover all your.
Just one quick mention, I went to the Embers stop, and I would like to make sure that we recognize Sarah and her team. There are a lot of people out there. It was hot. It was hot and it's pretty cool. It's my first time there. They had, what was this? Of course, the helicopters.
Right.
And a lot of wildland firefighting equipment, a lot of vendors for fire protection. But it was very busy for the Somerville people and they were answering a lot of questions. Very, very active. Very busy, so. Very good work. Thank you. That's the good.
Brian,
I don't know.
all right. Nor do I. Just on a personal note, talking to Brian on the way in, if you ever get the urge to change carpeting in your house, don't do it. It's like moving.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I.
Getting everything out of the way.
Oh, before you came in here, I said, you can't come in here like, there's a police department right here.
Yeah. You did a good job. We have the pleasure of a fire chief, by the way, we have two of them. Which one of you would like to?
Chief, you want to start off?
No, I'll let you,
Okay, so this month's report is fairly routine in nature. We had obviously a very successful and well-attended Station 56 open house that was held on August 3rd. And another one at Station 52, which also included a operations demonstration utilizing the training tower, which was awesome. That was on August 17th. Very well attended. There's a little picture there showing the crowd watching the operations drill. The crew did a great job. Again, I want to thank the commissioners for assisting with these very successful open houses. With the exception of the PSC, we've had one at each station now, so that is great. I want to thank the commission for assisting the ESCI staff member last month at the meeting, providing information and just having the two-way dialogue was very helpful. There is a draft report that has recently been submitted from ESCI that we will be reviewing and providing comment on, so we can move towards a final draft copy of that report that we're all looking forward to. Vegetation management staff, they've been busy. The vegetation management staff, I don't think any of them have had a weekend off in weeks, because there's always something that they've got going on. It was an Ember Stomp recent event. Well, this wasn't a weekend, but the August 23rd Movies in the Park, where they set up their booths. Both, it was bilingual. They set them up English and Spanish because this was held at Pickleweed Park. So they just do a fabulous job. This next weekend, they're attending the Porch Fest. They'll have their booth set up for Porch Fest in Gerstle Park in your neighborhood. They'll be handing out information and asking questions. On page 2, just a summary of some incidents that occurred. Fortunately, no major damage to structures or injuries. We've had 2 fires behind St. Vincent's School near the railroad right-of-way, one of which would have occurred on August 12th. No damage, less than an acre in size. More serious and much more challenging on August 13th, the very next day, the vegetation fire in Marinwood, obviously not in the city of San Rafael, but within our area of responsibility, in a very deep canyon behind Blackstone Drive. Could have been extinguished quickly if it was accessible. It was not. It was in a V canyon, so it took quite some time just to get personnel close to the fire and trying to control it, obviously with extremely long hose lays. Fortunately, then we had aircraft come in and assist. It was on a very calm day, so it didn't spread quickly. It didn't ever threaten structures. There was no evacuations. Chief Roman was there at the command post for most of the morning, but the incident went on for quite some time simply because of its just near impossible access in this canyon. But everybody did a great job. And then on the 17th, we went and assisted Ross Valley Fire Department with a fire on Miracle Mile, kind of near the United grocery store, that started in an auto repair garage area and then quickly spread into vehicles parked adjacent to the garage, that were under repair, and then up the hillside behind it. And Chief Bernard took the division of protecting homes behind this building and kind of managed the units, but noted that as the fire got into the vegetation, that the residents in that area had done such a remarkable job with defensible space that it really just stopped the vegetation fire in its tracks. Now, this fire was early in the morning, the humidities were high, there wasn't a wind component, there was no fire weather, so it wasn't going to really do anything too serious. But he just made the note that the defensible space of the residents really made a difference. So it's just a good lesson that really does work. This is a kind of a working example. Some call data on page 3. Thank you, Thomas. Some hiring updates. Some new firefighters have joined the ranks. Pepe Morel has been promoted to fire engineer. We're happy for that. Some training updates from Captain Goodwin. A wildfire mitigation update from the veg crew on page 4. Just some ongoing work in Eucalyptus Grove, and then a brief Fire Explorer update there at the bottom of that page. All good stuff, all successful outcomes. So really happy, pleased with everybody's work.
Did you have any Southeast personnel out of county right now?
No, so right now we have a couple issues with some reserve equipment. We have found on engine 59, we have a cracked frame. And then some engines that need to go out. We have our type 6 that needs some servicing on some manufactured type of stuff in there. So unfortunately, we just don't have the reserve equipment to be able to send an engine out. And then we're expecting an event on Sunday, which is the Watermelon Independence Day, which did cause some issues last year. We had multiple stabbings and some gunshot victims. So we're planning on not upstaffing that day, so we'll be moving some of those rigs, smaller rigs up to the canal area to cover those calls in anticipation of busy night. So we're probably going to hold off until probably Monday morning to put our units available. But there's 3 major fires working in Southern California right now, so we are eager to get past this week to start offering our services once again.
What was the event that you said there was issues at?
The Guatemalan Independence Day?
One more time again?
Guatemala.
Independence Day, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
And where is that held?
Well, there's no official party, that's the problem. So it's basically, last year they started up at Northgate, paraded down to Canal, and basically shut the roads down, had sideshows, and then everybody started drinking and all heck broke loose. So this year they're bringing in an additional, I believe, 60 additional police officers just for that, and then we're upstaffing also. Because we did some, one of those gunshot victims last year, we weren't able to get to them just because there was so much gridlock. So we're moving our ATVs down there also to potentially, if we need to get into ATVs or the smaller type 6 engines, to see if we have access issues, we're able to use that apparatus.
And about how many people participated?
I heard that over 1,000. As far as people that were partying?
Yeah.
Over 1,000 that were in cars, and then whatever residents were there also.
I just like collaboration work between fire and police in anticipation of events like that, just in general, knowing that
Yeah.
you've got flashpoints, right? Like, Halloween or other things where, I'm just curious.
So to be honest with you, it hasn't worked in the past. We actually didn't know about it last year until after it happened. So this year we are part of the unified command structure. As a matter of fact, at 1 o'clock, I've already pre-designated 2 people that we're working on. One of the will be Chief Hatfield, that will be up at the EOC. And then the field commander is going to be Chief Alviso, will be the unified incident commander. So basically on the unified command, they partner with the police department, and every decision that's made is under that unified command. So that's how that works. For us, we're not going to have 60 officers. We'll just have an extra engine company, probably named it, that kind of stuff like that. But tactfully, what it does for us is that we engage. First of all, we pre-designate police officers that are going to be with us, and we engage at the appropriate level. So there's always some kind of force security with us, and that'll allow us not necessarily to enter, but just to have that extra layer of in case we're in a situation that we get stuck somewhere. At least we have 2 police officers there,
Yeah.
and then the mutual communications that we have. So Basically, it's a little team, what we call a task force, and a task force, if they're going to the bathroom, they all go together. If they're gonna go save somebody, they're all going together, no matter what, they're going together. But we have both law enforcement and fire agencies that's represented on there.
Okay. Who's given the overall incident commander? Is it police?
Well, it's gonna be unified command, so it's gonna be,
But
the Captain Leon and Hatfield, they're gonna be incident commanders. And then originally I was gonna take the incident commander, but Jason wanted to participate. I was like, all right, great, you take it and I'll just oversee and just fit in wherever you need me. So I think it's a great system that we have now. Like I said, just building that communication with the PD is a big deal. It's similar type of things gonna happen in evacuation. So one of the things that's important for me is that I could get that structure and put it on different things. Whether it's a medical aid shooting or structure fire or grass fire, I'm putting in that incident command structure no matter what it is. And this is the way I think as a fire chief. It's like I don't have tools other than a radio and that kind of stuff, but in my head, I have organization through an incident command system that I put a box on. And then to me, I just box everything in. It doesn't matter how much chaos. You know, to be honest with you, how many people are dying like that? To me, I put my incident command box on top of that because I have to establish some chaos right off the bat, or establish some kind of organization of chaos. The chaos might still be going internally, but I have a box around it. So, and that's the way we work our way down on incident command. But there's got to be some kind of command structure that gets put in right off the bat. Even though it seems like holy cow, everything's burning. Yeah, but we're putting the structure around there. Yeah. So, it's really interesting. And then literally, I wanted my folks. Chief Alviso, who's brand new at this position, I want him down there and being able to take those positions and have him work through it, and me just overseeing them as they're working through the process, working the issues and challenges and that kind of stuff. It's really, to me, it's really fascinating seeing our folks develop from the point where they're going to just simple medical aids with one engine company, all the point where they're managing multiple emergencies, and that's what it is. They're going to manage multiple emergencies. In this case, it'll be the incident commander of the canal area. So all calls don't go through the traditional, they go through the traditional 911 system, but the dispatcher now doesn't take control to send the engine. They send the information to the incident commander, and the incident commander makes a determination of what resources, if any, need to go to that emergency. And he will determine the priority of those. So it might be where there's a low priority, he'll hold on that, send another engine company to that, or send a closer engine company, or say, you know what, you guys need to get in the ATVs because there's no access. So that's why we need that incident commander to start doing that. If I just send a bunch of engine companies, what we basically cause is a lot more gridlock in there, and that's what happened last year. We were just causing more mayhem by just adding more and more engine companies rather than organizing, resetting, and then prioritizing.
One of your calls was, my house. Thank you very much. You guys, there was a woman over, my friend of my wife, they were working on some charitable project, and I was in the backyard working. And I hear the woman's name is Lee, and I heard my wife yelling, Lee, what's that? So I go and look, and I guess she just kind of showed up. She wasn't feeling well, kind of shut down. When I got there, she was really sweating. And I looked at my wife, and she goes, I'm calling her daughter. And I'm like, call 911. And you guys were just, this station responded, just great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So how's Lee?
She's fine now. I just saw her, but I mean, 911 was saying, you have to get her on the ground, so they're telling me, so I'm holding her, so I have to do that, and then I could hear the fire coming out. It's like, great, and that was great, and so reassuring, right? Those guys come up, they look at me, and they're like, aren't you associated with Sun somehow? I'm like, yeah. And then the ambulance came and they took her. Yeah.
No, I have to credit our folks on there. I remember we just recently had a ride-along who acknowledged the fact that we have, he's been on several ride-alongs, I guess, around the Bay Area and stuff like that, but he's told his wife, he goes, I've never seen the equipment that they have and how clean it is and the level of equipment that they have. And we are really fortunate. I know most people don't know that, but we have really good equipment here on the EMS side. It's not thrash, it's brand new equipment, and we try to keep it up and make sure that everything's on the up and up. And I do have to credit our folks for having that kind of respect of their equipment, and also the way that they handle themselves with professionalism.
Yeah. The way they handled this woman was just, it was like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Good for us, good for us. Excellent. Any comments or questions to the collective chiefs?
Make sure everybody got the invitation for the badge fitting next Friday, 3 o'clock.
in Chambers.
Yes, Chambers. And we hope we're hoping that this will be an annual event, or we're doing badge pinning for folks that are getting promoted and into probation, and also years of service acknowledgement. So we're hoping this will be a yearly event. Anything that we know throughout the year that we need to acknowledge, we just save it till this time. So the hope is to have this, and then we're going back to hopefully having a retirement type of function sometime in the spring. So every 6 months in theory, we would have some kind of event that we could all join in. And you certainly will be inviting you to all those events.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when I got my promotion. The fire chief called me into his office and threw me the badge. That was it.
Yeah.
I said, all right, go out, do something.
Yeah, don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Put one hand on the car and the other hand, on your microphone and make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, things are a little bit different now, and we're acknowledging it like, it's part of our culture that we're trying to build, and it's a nice acknowledgement. And all these things are doing, the 9/11 today, it was a really nice event, and, really private, not private, but really intimate, but those events, they mean something to us, and unfortunately, as firefighters, we've lost that culture, and that part of it's been COVID, just because we're so bound by policies and not to do this and do this, that we've kind of lost our culture, especially as firefighters, where we're social beings as it is. That's been mentally, it's been a huge deal for us to just get out of that part of it. And one thing I didn't realize until recently is that we've had a fair amount of firefighters that we've hired at that time that don't know any better. They just think they just go to the fire station and that's it. Well, no, it's not about that. It's about getting out the community. It's about engaging with people and stuff like that, not just on emergencies, but even before emergency starts. So once again, I can say that all day, but unless we're doing events like this, we're just, our new firefighters, they just think this is normal, but it's not normal. It's normal for us to be engaging, going to movies in the park, going to these communities, having a sticker in your pocket just because you can find some kid out there, just having a sticker so you can hand them and have a conversation with them. So all those are important things out there. They might be little simple things, but to me, they mean a lot to me when my folks are out there functioning at that level for sure.
Yeah, what we learned over the years was that the fire department is the community's association with city government. In other words, you see it with people taking ownership in their fire. Right? They don't feel that they're getting hurt or they can't get to city hall or whatever. It's bureaucracy. But the good old fire department is there. So that's why it's really important that you establish that relationship with the community. Because they're going to come to you, and for good or bad, you're representing the city of San Antonio.
Sure.
So yeah, I think the more you can get out, the more you can engage the community, the more fun, support you can get.
Yeah.
And two, people feel like they're part of you. Oh yeah, part of the fire department. They exist. And wow, when they came to our house, they were just really professional, and that's people's impression and vision and actual hands-on work with city government. So I applaud you for that.
Yeah, and we, like even this morning when I was talking during the 9/11 event, what I was saying that if you see a fire engine, it's good, right? Like, that it's a representative good, and so much stuff that we have that's negative, the representing of a fire engine driving by or an ambulance that says NFL, there's good in that, right? There's good people there that are gonna help me.
We're hearing.
Oh, yeah, well, I've been on that side also, when I've been show up on the scene of a call, and I hear the siren, oh, good, they're gonna be here pretty soon. They're my guys who coming, but I get a sense of like, okay, they're on their way, I can hear them, they're on their way, which is the oddest thing on them, but it gives you a sense like, okay, I got people coming, they're gonna come help me, whatever that emergency is, but it's a sense of good, right?
In a sense, good, and everybody loves their fire departments, and everybody loves a firefighter. Can't say that about law enforcement. When the law enforcement guys bitch at me about being a firefighter, I said, you've been tracing.
That's exactly what I think.
You probably get more direct services from the fire department to individual members of the community than any other department in the city.
I remember like there was a burglary inside, broken window at the preschool. Well, police, it's like, are they still there? No. We'll file a report online. They don't have to come up.
Right.
Whereas I know our guys 55, these service calls, it might be just changing a battery in a smoke detector, which takes all of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But the goodwill that comes from that. But people are also engaged. We had that open house at 52 with that demonstration. People are there coming early. Waiting and, staking out the spots so they can see it.
There's an article in Political Magazine, and it's called, Thank God for Taxes. And I invite anybody to read that. It's a short article, but basically is this reporter that a fire at his house. And he goes thankful that he's paying taxes to get the service. Because out of everything like that, then I've had people say this is the best bang for your buck is in your government is the fire service.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cheap insurance.
Yeah.
Lady and gentlemen, I do believe the day is complete unless there are other issues for the table. Yes, no? In that case, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
The official.